Sitaram, and a pleasant good evening to each and everyone. Welcome to tonight's Connecting Through Bhajans, our last Connecting Through Bhajans for the year of 2022. At this point, I would like to invite Sanya to do our opening prayer, followed by our first bhajan. Thank you.
Sitaram, everyone. Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahana Bhunaktu Saha Viryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavaditamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Hari Om. जय गुरु ओमकारा जय जय सद्गुरु ओमकारा ओम जय गुरु ओमकारा जय जय सद्गुरु ओमकारा ओम ब्रह्मा विष्णु सदा शिवाय ब्रह्मा विष्णु सदा शिवाय हर 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 महादेवा हर 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 महादेवा जय गुरु ओमकारा जय जय सद्गुरु ओमकारा ओम जय गुरु ओमकारा जय जय सद्गुरु ओमकारा ओम काशी कैलाश निवसति शंकर काशी कैलाश निवसति शंकर हर 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 बम बोले हर 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 बम बोले जय गुरु ओमकारा जय जय सद्गुरु ओमकारा ओम जय गुरु ओमकारा जय जय सद्गुरु ओमकारा ओम सद्गुरु ओमकारा ओम सद्गुरु ओमकारा ओम सीताराम.
Thank you, Sanya. So next I'd like to ask Auntie Chance if she can go, followed by Mrs. Ramdat and then my mom. Thank you.
Namaste everyone. Vaheguru, Vaheguru, Vaheguru Bol. Vaheguru, Vaheguru, Vaheguru Bol. Vaheguru, Vaheguru, Vaheguru Bol. Vaheguru, Vaheguru, Vaheguru Bol. Sitaram Bol, Jai Radhe Shyam 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 Bol. Sitaram Bol, Jai Sai Ram Bol. Vaheguru, Vaheguru, Vaheguru Bol. Vaheguru, Vaheguru, Vaheguru Bol. Vaheguru, Vaheguru, Vaheguru Bol. Vaheguru, Vaheguru, Vaheguru Bol. Allahu Akbar, Vaheguru Bol. अल्लाहू अकबर वाहिगुरु बोल, अल्लाहू अकबर वाहिगुरु बोल, अल्लाहू अकबर वाहिगुरु बोल, अल्लाहू अकबर वाहिगुरु बोल, अल्लाहू अकबर सतगुरु बोल, वाहिगुरु 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 बोल, वाहिगुरु 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 बोल, वाहिगुरु 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 बोल, वाहिगुरु 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 बोल। नमस्ते।
Jai Sitaram, everyone. नाम तुम्हारा हम रखते हैं, मान भक्त का तुम रखते हो, आज बचा कर सुहाग सती का, मेरा वचन निभा सकते हो, कहाँ छुपे हो राजा राम, आजा राम, दीपक बुझा जला जा राम, कहाँ छुपे हो राजा राम, आजा राम, दीपक बुझा जला जा राम, नर नारी से है संसार, एक बिना दूजा बेकार, नर नारी से है संसार, एक बिना दूजा बेकार, पति उस पार सती इस पार, कैसे पार करे मझधार, पति उस पार सती इस पार, कैसे पार करे मझधार, छोटा साथ मिला जा राम, आजा राम, दीपक बुझा जला जा राम, कहाँ छुपे हो राजा राम, आजा राम, दीपक बुझा जला जा राम, रोको इन्हें नहीं जाने दो, अपने घर को फिर आने दो, रोको इन्हें नहीं जाने दो, अपने घर को फिर आने दो, दो दिन तो तुम्हें खिलाने दो, तेरी दया पर इतराने दो, दो दिन तो तुम्हें खिलाने दो, तेरी दया पर इतराने दो, मेरा बचन निभा जा राम, आजा राम, दीपक बुझा जला जा राम, कहाँ छुपे हो राजा राम, आजा राम, दीपक बुझा जला जा राम, राजा राम राजा राम राजा राम राजा 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 राम। जय सीताराम।
सीताराम। बनवारी रे, जीने का सहारा तेरा नाम रे, मुझे दुनिया वालों से क्या काम रे। बनवारी रे, जीने का सहारा तेरा नाम रे, मुझे दुनिया वालों से क्या काम रे। झूठी दुनिया, झूठे बंधन, झूठी है यह माया। झूठी दुनिया, झूठे बंधन, झूठी है यह माया। झूठ सास का आन जाना, झूठी है यह काया। हो यहाँ सांचो तेरा नाम रे, बनवारी रे, जीने का सहारा तेरा नाम रे, मुझे दुनिया वालों से क्या काम रे। रंग में तेरे रंग गिरधर, छोड़ दिया जग सारा। रंग में तेरे गिरधर, छोड़ दिया जग सारा। बन गई तेरी प्रेम की जोगन, लेकर मन एक तारा। ओ मुझे प्यार तेरा धाम रे, बनवारी रे, जीने का सहारा तेरा नाम रे, मुझे दुनिया वालों से क्या काम रे। दर्शन तेरा जिस दिन पाऊं, हर चिंता मिट जाए। ओ दर्शन तेरा जिस दिन पाऊं, हर चिंता मिट जाए। जीवन मेरा इन चरणों में आश की ज्योति जलाए। ओ मेरी बाह पकड़ लो श्याम रे, बनवारी रे, जीने का सहारा तेरा नाम रे, मुझे दुनिया वालों से क्या काम रे। बनवारी रे, जीने का सहारा तेरा नाम रे, मुझे दुनिया वालों से क्या काम रे। मुझे दुनिया वालों से क्या काम रे। मुझे दुनिया वालों से क्या काम रे। The bhajan reminds us, temporary indeed is this unreal world. Relationships are not lasting, and this world is an illusion. My very breathing is short-lived. The body is also temporary, O Lord. Only you, your sacred name, is real and lasting. Thank you.
Thank you all very much. So, Sanya, can you do the next bhajan or kirtan for us, followed by Auntie Chansey and Mrs. Ramda? Thank you.
Sitaram. Hey Murali Sridhara, Radhe Krishna Radhe Shyam, Keshava Madhava Yadava Nandana, Radhe Krishna Radhe Shyam. Hey Murali Sridhara, Radhe Krishna Radhe Shyam, Keshava Madhava Yadava Nandana, Radhe Krishna Radhe Shyam, Nandanandana Radhe Shyam. नवनीत चोरा राधे श्याम नंदनंदन राधे श्याम नवनीत चोरा राधे श्याम केशव माधव यादव नंदन राधे कृष्ण राधे श्याम केशव माधव यादव नंदन राधे कृष्ण राधे श्याम हे मुरली श्रीधरा राधे कृष्ण राधे श्याम केशव माधव यादव नंदन राधे कृष्ण राधे श्याम भक्तवत्सल राधे श्याम भगवत प्रिय राधे श्याम भक्तवत्सल राधे श्याम भगवत प्रिय राधे श्याम केशव माधव यादव नंदन राधे कृष्ण राधे श्याम केशव माधव यादव नंदन राधे कृष्ण राधे श्याम पांडुरंग राधे श्याम पंडरीनाथ राधे श्याम पांडुरंग राधे श्याम पंडरीनाथ राधे श्याम केशव माधव यादव नंदन राधे कृष्ण राधे श्याम केशव माधव यादव नंदन राधे कृष्ण राधे श्याम हे मुरली श्रीधरा राधे कृष्ण राधे श्याम केशव माधव यादव नंदन राधे कृष्ण राधे श्याम केशव माधव यादव नंदन राधे कृष्ण राधे श्याम राधे कृष्ण राधे श्याम राधे कृष्ण राधे श्याम सीताराम
Namaste again. Ram Hare Hari Naam Bolo Ram Hare Hari Naam Bolo 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 Ram Hare Hari Naam Bolo Ram Hare Hari Naam Bolo Sai Rama Param Dayala Sai Rama Param Dayala Param Dayala Param Dayala मन मंदिर में दिया ज्वाला मन मंदिर में दिया ज्वाला राम हरे हरि नाम बोलो राम हरे हरि नाम बोलो हरि नाम बोलो हरि नाम बोलो हरि नाम बोलो साई राम बोलो राम हरे हरि नाम बोलो साई राम परम दयाला परम दयाला परम दयाला मन मंदिर में दिया जाला मन अल्लाह साई बोलो, मौला साई बोलो, नानक साई बोलो, गोविंद साई बोलो, अल्लाह साई बोलो, मौला साई बोलो, अल्लाह साई बोलो, मौला साई बोलो, राम हरे हरि नाम बोलो. 1000 pranam, Swami.
Jai Sitaram again. वृंदावन का कृष्ण कन्हैया सबके आँखों का तारा, मन ही मन क्यों जले राधिका, मोहन तू है सबका प्यारा. वृंदावन का कृष्ण कन्हैया, जमुना तट पर नंद की लाला, जब जब रास रचाया रे, तन मन डोले राधा से, बंसी मधुर बजाए रे, सुधि बुध कोरी खरी गोपिया, जाने कैसा जादू डाला. वृंदावन का कृष्ण कन्हैया सबके आँखों का तारा, मन ही मन क्यों जले राधिका, मोहन तू है सबका प्यारा. वृंदावन का कृष्ण कन्हैया, रंग सलोना ऐसा जैसे छाई हो घट सावन की, तेरी मैं तो हुए दीवानी, मन मोहन मन भावन की, तेरी कारण देख भाव रे, छोड़ दिया मैंने जग सारा. वृंदावन का कृष्ण कन्हैया सबके आँखों का तारा, मन ही मन क्यों जले राधिका, मोहन तू है सबका प्यारा. वृंदावन का कृष्ण कन्हैया. जय सीताराम.
Thank you all very much. So now we'll have our Bachoka Khan segment, and then my mom will do the next bhajan or kirtan for us. So I'd like to pass over to Sanya for tonight's Bachoka Khan.
Sitaram everyone and welcome to Bachchu Kakan. Tonight we will be starting off with our opening prayer. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahana Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahe Tejasvinavaritamasttu ma vidvishavahe. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om. Our presenters for tonight are myself and our young adult is Auntie Shabana. I will firstly be singing the Hanuman Chalisa, and then Auntie Shabana will be doing a thought of the day written by Sai Baba. Shri Guru Charana Saroja Raja निज मनु मुकुर सुधारी परनाउ रघुबर बिमल जसु जोदायक पलचारी बुद्धिहीन तनु जानिके सुमिरो पवन कुमार बल बुद्धि विद्या देव मोहि हरहु कलेश विकार जय हनुमान ज्ञान गुण सागर जय कपीस तिहुँ लोक उजागर रामदूत तुलित बलधामा अंजनी पुत्र पवन सुत नामा महावीर विक्रम बजरंगी कुमति निवार सुमति के संगी कंचन बरन विराज सुबेसा कानन कुंडल कुंचित केसा हाथ भद्र ध्वजा विराजै कामदेव मुंज जनेऊ साजै शंकर सुवन केसरी नंदन तेज प्रताप महाजगबंदन विद्यावान गुणी अति चातुर राम काज करिबे को आतुर प्रभु चरित्र सुनिबे को रसिया राम लखन सीता मन बसिया सूक्ष्म रूप धरि सियहि दिखावा विकट रूप धरि लंक जरावा भीम रूप धरि असुर संहारे रामचंद्र के काज संवारे लाए सजीवन लखन जियाए श्री रघुबीर हरषि उर लाए रघुपति कीन्ही बहुत बड़ाई तुम मम प्रिय भरत ही सम भाई सहस बदन तुमरो जस गावे अस कहि श्रीपति कंठ लगावे सनकादिक ब्रह्मादि मुनीसा नारद शारद सहित ईसा जम कुबेर दिगपाल जमाते कवि कोविद कहि सके कहाते तुम उपकार सुग्रीवहि कीन्हा राम मिलाय राजपद दीन्हा तुमरो मंत्र विभीषण माना लंकेश्वर वै सब जग जाना जुग सहस्र जो जन पर भानु लील्यो ताहि मधुर फल जानु प्रभु मुद्रिका मेली मुख माहि जल्दी लांघि गए अचरज नाहि दुर्गम काज जगत के जेते सुगम अनुग्रह तुम्हारे तेते राम दुआरे तुम रखवारे होत न आज्ञा बिनु पैसारे सब सुख लहे तुम्हारे शरणा तुम रक्षक काहो को नरना आपन तेज समारो आपे तीनों लोक हम करते कापे भूत पिशाच निकट नहीं मावे महावीर जब नाम सुनावे नासै रोग हरै सब पीरा जपत निरंतन हनुमत बीरा। संकट ते हनुमान छुड़ावे, मन क्रम बचन ध्यान जो लावे। सब पर राम तपस्वी राजा, तिनके काज सकल तुम साजा। और मनोरथ जो कोई लावे, सोई अमित जीवन फल पावे। चारों जुग परताप तुम्हारा, है प्रसिद्ध जगत उजियारा। साधु संत के तुम रखवारे, असुर निकंदन राम दुलारे। अष्ट सिद्धि नौ निधि के दाता, असवर दीन दान की माता। राम रसायन तुम्हारे पासा, सदा रहो रघुपति के दासा। तुम्हारे भजन राम को पावे, जन्म जन्म के दुख बिसरावे। अंत काल रघुबरपुर जाए, जहाँ जन्म हरि भक्त कहाए। और देवता चेतना धरई, हनुमत से सर्व सुख करई। संकट कटे मिटे सब पीरा, जो सुमिरै हनुमत बलबीरा। जय 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 हनुमान गोसाई, कृपा करो गुरुदेव की नाय। जो शत बार पाठ कर कोई, जूतहि बंधि महासुख होय। जो यह पद हनुमान चालीसा, होय सिद्धि साखी गौरीसा। तुलसीदास सदा हरि चेरा, की जय नाथ हृदय महम डेरा। पवन तनय संकट हरना, मंगल मूर्ति रूप। राम लखन सीता सहित, हृदय बसहु सुरभूप। सियावर रामचंद्र की जय, पवन सुत हनुमान की जय। उमापति महादेव की जय, बोलो भाई सब संतन की जय। Thank you, and Sitaram. I now pass over to Auntie Shabana for the thought of the day.
Thank you, Sanya. So the thought for the day was taken from one of Sri Satya Sai Baba's Divine Discourse done on December 24th, 1980. The cloud of ignorance veil the truth. God sends sages, saints, and prophets to unveil the truth, and himself appears as an avatar, divine incarnation to awaken and liberate man. 2000 years ago, when narrow pride and thick ignorance defiled mankind, Jesus came as the embodiment of love and compassion and lived among men, holding forth the highest ideals of life.
Ideals.
You must pay attention to the lessons he elaborated on in the various stages of his life. I am the messenger of God, he declared. First, yes, each individual has to accept that role and live as examples of divine love and charity. This day, Christmas is celebrated. Bring to mind the words he uttered, the advice he offered, the warning he gave, and decide to direct your daily lives along the path he laid down. His words must be imprinted on your heart, and you must resolve to practice all that he taught. Thank you, and Sitaram.
like to wish everyone a happy new year. Thank you and Sitaram.
Sitaram, once again, in keeping with the message that Bana just read, I'm going to do a Christmas carol depicting Lord Jesus's message. Joy to the world, the Lord is come. Let earth receive her King. Let every heart prepare him room, and heaven and nature sing, and heaven and nature sing, and heaven and nature sing. Joy to the world, the Savior reigns. Let man their songs employ, while fields and floods, rocks, hills, and plains repeat the sound and joy, repeat the sound and joy, repeat the sounding joy. He rules the world with truth and grace, and makes the nations prove the glories of his righteousness, and wonders of his love, and wonders of his love, and wonders of his love. Thank you.
Thank you, Mom. Then we'll have our catechism for this evening. Thank you.
Okay, so we are at the cusp of yet another year, or another new year. And of course, it is in our hands to make it whatever we desire. Is it going to be a new year that is full of promise, full of possibilities, full of positivity, spiritual growth, discipline, and steadfastness? Or is it going to be a year of marking time, or worst, of regression, or spiritual, moral, and ethical stagnation? I keep reminding that the Lord has given us the blueprint to attain Brahmagyana, which of course leads to moksha. It's a state of moksha, both in doctrine and lived values. Are we ready to begin the transformative process if we haven't already started? You know, when we have periods like this, it is a time for us to reflect. But unfortunately, that reflection is transitory. And it just passes us by so very quickly, fleetingly. You know, we have all these aspirations, and we make all these promises, and have, you know, very, very diligently we think that we are going to do these things. And then before you know it, as they say, life gets in the way. But for some of us, we have to wonder, is it life getting in the way? Are we getting carried away without understanding exactly, you know, what is really important? Life itself is transitory. And we, you know, we are in this precarious position. In the Bhagavad Gita, it is likened, life is likened to a drop of water, just, you know, at the end of a leaf, just there in this precarious position where it can just fall. And that's the end of everything. And so we too, We are in this exact same position. Doing the right thing is never easy. Obstacles will always confront us. But as the Latin saying goes, per angusta ad augusta. It is through trials and tribulations that we will attain glory, success, and honor. We must go through difficulties. Anything that we have to attain in this life, we have to work for it. And so too, spirituality. If you remember, Mahatma Gandhi spoke about this. Spirituality without discipline is really, it is almost a contradiction. One should regard such moments as opportunities to display our spiritual growth, our sadhana. Good things never come easy. In fact, they all require some measure of sacrifice and discipline. So when we say our life is a series of choices, that hits the nail on the head. And to say that the power lies in our hands, quite literally and metaphorically, is absolutely on point. January 2023 is looming. We don't know what lies ahead. Most of us are very happy to see 2022, the back of 2022, because it was definitely a challenging year. But joining together and connecting through bhajans and us having our discussions, the purpose is, of course, for us to become that much closer to God through love that comes from our songs, as well as the greater understanding of what we believe. So the jnana, which also brings us closer to God, because it will transform the way we think and how we behave. So all year we've done Shravanam, we've listened, and I'm hoping that we also, we inculcated, we thought it through Mananam, we listened, we considered it. And with the Nididhyasanam now, I'm hoping that we all started, and this will be the emphasis in this upcoming year. Putting our beliefs, our values, our teachings into practice. We've gone beyond the point of just repeating things. We don't want to be castigated the way that Shankara castigated and embarrassed the old man when he said, at this stage of your life, you are still thinking about learning Sanskrit grammar, one foot in the grave and one foot outside. And this is what you're thinking. Instead, chant the name of God. Try to cultivate some love in your heart for the divine. Understanding Sanskrit grammar will get you nowhere. And in the harshest of terms, he called the man a fool. So are we like that old man? We don't know if we will survive tomorrow. We don't know what lies ahead. So it is imperative upon us that we begin now If we haven't already, we must do it now. And we rely on each other for that strength. That strength to go further, to grow in love and to grow in knowledge and wisdom and understanding. So there are several things. I've chosen 5 points that we can look at. That if we should put these 5 things, there's so many, but 5 things that stand out that are very, very simple to practice. The Avatar himself, the Lord himself, has advised Nam Smaran. Nam Smaran. You recite the name of the Lord. Do we have to recite the name of the Lord in Sanskrit or in Hindi? Do we think the Lord only understands Sanskrit and Hindi? Whatever and however you feel comfortable to speak to God, to pray to God, this is what you need to do. Whether you want to sing it in English or you want to sing it in Hindi or you want to sing it in Urdu or however you want to sing it, whether it's a chant, whether it's a bhajan, it does not matter. You also don't have to sing it out loud. If you feel that you don't have a singing voice and you are happy to sing quietly or in a chorus, that is fine, that is acceptable. It is your personal relationship with God. There's no place. We can do it in our car, at our workplace. It's when the Lord is in our minds. Can you imagine? Our day will be so much better. So when we are doing this, we think of the Lord as Param Guru, Adi Guru, Purushottama Guru, the ultimate, from whom all knowledge comes, all wisdom comes. So that is one. Another one is satsang, of course. And, a lot of people have a misunderstanding of what is satsang. When you look at a word and what it means, in a group setting where truth, sat, is spoken. So, of course, the chanting of the Lord's name, reading from the religious texts, studying our tradition, learning, but being together in an environment where you have positive people and wisdom. So you can't say the location is important. People around you and what is happening around you is important. So you can be sitting and having a discussion about God in a classroom. It does not matter where it is what you are doing. Having said that, you will not go into a place where you have distractions and so on. That would just be nonsensical. But you understand what I mean. A place or a people who can teach you righteous lessons, who are good company, who could instill proper values and encourage you in the right behavior, righteous living, satsang. So, sometimes it's difficult to get to the temple. You can put on something religious, spiritual, you listen songs, you listen to a lecture. There's so much available now. So we should not make excuses. All empowerment, if empowerment and learning things does not bring you closer to God, well, then something is wrong. The more we learn is the more we should understand that we are nothing. because the Lord gives us everything. And everything is one. So this brings me to another one, and this is, of course, seva. Swami talks about helping the helpless, loving all and serving all. And when you understand what this means, it's a selflessness that is involved, understanding that you and God are one, and you and every other form of life is one. You are seeing the oneness. It creates and fosters a mindfulness that you're concerned about others. It also creates humility because you understand that you are insignificant in the grand scheme of things. As I said a little while ago, in the Sikh tradition, when they say it starts, Ik Onkar Sadguru Prasadam. And that is exactly what the Hindu tradition talks about. The Lord is one. The basis of everything, Om. That is the prasadam given by the Guru, the true Guru, by the Lord himself. So when we practice seva, we understand the Lord's immanence in all of creation. We see oneness. We don't see different religions. We see unity in diversity. What a beautiful tradition. What a beautiful tradition that you can have that understanding that we are all one. There's no difference. So while others may be harping on, I am better than you, and who is better than this one, and I know God, and we don't have to even think of that. Or we should not be thinking of that. I don't know what is practiced and how talks are given and so on. But this is what our tradition teaches. We are all one. So from that, of course, the avatar talks about love. Love. We saw love and compassion, Lord Rama. We saw it with Lord Krishna. We saw it with Swami, the most beautiful pictures you see, Shabana will put up all the time. And that song that I was singing about, Daya, compassion, the interaction with animals, the interaction with the poor, the downtrodden. Look at Jesus. Love, compassion again. And what are all these examples teaching us? The Lord tells us there are tens of thousands of avatars have come, and very few would be known. So instead of wasting time talking about this is the true avatar and that one is not an avatar, who are we? Who are we to know? Who are we? That will be arrogant and presumptuous. Understand and appreciate and inculcate the teachings. All of the rest is of no consequence. This is what the Lord wants from us. And as we go into this new year, let us go in as different, with a different mentality. When the Lord talks about equanimity, the wise one possesses equanimity in this life. This is what he's talking about, that you don't fly off the handle at everything, and 1 minute you're deliriously happy, and the next minute you're you are in the depths of anger, you saying, things that you would regret later. This mercurial type of mindset. Just be calm and level-headed. And then when you approach something, you approach in a very measured way. Many of us would understand when we are deliriously happy, we are so happy, we promise, all kinds of things. And then we realize later on, wait a minute, I don't know if I can really get all of that done. Or you are so angry, you say things that you definitely regret. So let's check ourselves. So in love, there are different ways we can look at love, where we should condemn and eschew violence in all forms, be it physical, verbal, or mental. There are different ways that you could perpetrate violence. And that, coming from that is, when we spoke in the past about code of speech in Hinduism, Satyam Priti Hitam Chayat. Speak the truth, but not that which hurts others. How we speak to people, how we interact with people, our conduct. So let us start looking at how we behave and question ourselves. Is this the way we would like to be treated? Let us, take stock and consider before we act. Ahimsa. The Lord recommends ahimsa. He teaches ahimsa, non-violence. And there's so many ways. We can't speak about God's equal presence in all beings. This is the cardinal teaching in Hinduism of the oneness. The oneness. But yet, we slaughter. Yet still, we slaughter. It will not happen overnight, but it has to start. It has to start. This is a season where my heart bleeds when I think of the number of animals that have been slaughtered for our own selfish pleasure. How can you celebrate while creating pain? It is really a very, very sad, very, very sad situation. Just before, during the satsang here, neighbors set off fireworks and had all the dogs trembling. People wonder, why is it we incur sin? When we say you act in a manner that you do not create needless pain and suffering for living beings. How can you live with yourself, knowing what you are doing? So we are coming up to that All Year celebration, and I urge you, I beg you, I beseech you, please, 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 please do not purchase fireworks and set them off. It is equal to incurring sin. It is like you're murdering animals. And this is not me on a soapbox lecturing. This is the reality. We see it the following day, how many dogs are run over. They're so disoriented. Animals, birds even. It's because it's like a war zone when they start up. It is really a disgrace as far as I'm concerned. How can I celebrate while I'm creating pain, suffering, and death? Instead, take that money and do something charitable, do some seva. Put it to a good use. If your children, you put it in perspective for your children. If your children would like to purchase, you explain to them, are you prepared? You know, the same way that Valmiki had to confront the situation about murdering people when he robbed people. He had to pay for it. Show it to them like that. This is what, when you buy this is what it causes. Are you prepared to accept that? And if your child is not a reasonable child, you simply say no. Because you are the parent and you should know better. So, I know I've spoken longer than I anticipated, but I feel very strongly about this issue. I really do. And I think as adults, we all need to step up. We are the ones who create the change. We are the ones. We can't look to anybody else. We are the ones. So we have 2023 right there, looming. Let us try our utmost to make it the best that it could be. Let us put our teachings into practice. Let us support each other, encourage each other, grow in love, in understanding, and in wisdom in our noble tradition. So with this, I say namaste and thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Auntie Chancy. So now I'll ask Mrs. Ramdas if she can do a bhajan or kirtan for us. And Auntie Chance can do the last one. And then Mrs. Siu, if you're there, can you do closing for us tonight, please? Thank you.
Jai Sitaram again. Raghupati Raghav Raja Ram Patita Pavan Sitaram. Raghupati Raghav Raja Ram Patita Pavan Sitaram. सीताराम जय सीताराम भज प्यारे मन सीताराम सीताराम जय सीताराम भज प्यारे मन सीताराम जय जय रघुपति राघव राजा राम पतित पावन सीताराम ईश्वर अल्लाह तेरो नाम सबको सन्मति दे भगवान ईश्वर अल्लाह तेरो नाम सबको सन्मति दे भगवान जय जय रघुपति राघव राजा राम पतित पावन सीताराम हाथों से करो घर का काम मुख से बोलो सीताराम हाथों से करो घर का काम मुख से बोलो सीताराम जय जय रघुपति राघव राजा राम पतित पावन सीताराम कौशल्या का भलाई राम दशरथ जी के प्यारा नाम, कौशल्या का भलाई राम। दशरथ जी का प्यारा राम, रघुपति राघव राजा राम। पतित पावन सीताराम, बंसी वाला रे घनश्याम, धनुष धारी सीताराम। बंसी वाला है घनश्याम, धनुष धारी सीताराम। जय जय रघुपति राघव राजा राम। पतित पावन सीताराम। सीताराम जय सीताराम, भज प्यारे मन सीताराम। सीताराम जय सीताराम, भज प्यारे मन सीताराम। जय जय रघुपति राघव राजा राम। पतित पावन सीताराम, पतित पावन सीताराम, पतित पावन सीताराम। बोलिए प्रभु रामचंद्र की जय।
Namaste again. आत्मा में बस जाओ बाबा, आत्मा में बस जाओ बाबा, आत्मा में बस जाओ बाबा, आत्मा में बस जाओ बाबा। तुम बिन सब मंदिर है सोने, आत्मा में बस जाओ बाबा, आत्मा में बस जाओ बाबा। परमात्मा तुम सारे जगत के, राम रहीम तुम सारे जगत के। परमात्मा तुम सारे जगत के, राम रहीम तुम सारे जगत के। सोने मन में वास करो तुम, सोने मन में वास करो तुम। घर घर में बस जाओ बाबा, घर घर में बस जाओ बाबा। आत्मा में बस जाओ बाबा, आत्मा में बस जाओ बाबा। तुम बिन सब मंदिर है सोने, आत्मा में बस जाओ बाबा, आत्मा में बस जाओ बाबा। परमात्मा तुम सारे जगत के, राम रहीम तुम सारे जगत के। सोने मन में वास करो तुम, सोने मन में वास करो तुम। घर घर में बस जाओ बाबा, घर घर में बस जाओ बाबा। घर घर में बस जाओ बाबा, घर घर में बस जाओ बाबा। आत्मा में बस जाओ बाबा। Before we close, I'd just like to read the meaning of this beautiful song. Baba, please reside in my heart. Let me become aware of you as my very consciousness, my divinity, my soul. Without you, all I experience is emptiness. Every temple seems empty. You are Lord of this entire creation, worshipped as Ram and Rahim. Be pleased, reside in the temple of my mind, reside in the very homes of all. Indeed, may your presence be felt everywhere. Namaste.
Sitaram, everyone. Let's get ready for prayer. Om Shantakaram Bhujaya Shainam Padmanadam Suresham Vishwadharam Gangana Sadrisham Meghavarnam Shubhagam Lakshmi Kantam Kamalanainam Yogi Birdhyana Gamyam Bande Vishnu Bhavabhayaharanam Sarvaloke Tanatan. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. And I quote us from Chansi also, as we grow in love and wisdom in our noble tradition. I wish you all a happy new year. Sitaram.